Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. जयो कृष्ण बलराम वृंदावन धाम, कृष्ण बलराम जयो वृंदावन धाम। जयो ललिता विशाखा राधे श्याम, ललिता विशाखा राधे श्याम। जय जय प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। प्रभुपाद, 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ब्रह्म मध्व गौड़ीय संप्रदायाचार्य गुरुवर की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, बोलो श्री वृंदावन धाम की, भगवद गीता महाग्रंथ की, गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल। So today we will be serving Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chronological order. Today's chapter is chapter 17, the divisions of faith. Divisions of faith, and today's text is text number 3. श्रील प्रभुपाद गुरुदेव की जय। सत्त्वानुरूप सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत। श्रद्धामयो अयं पुरुष यो यत् श्रद्धाः स एव सः। सत्त्वानुरूप सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत। श्रद्धामयो अयं पुरुषो यो यत् श्रद्धाः स एव सः। सत्तानुरूपा सर्वस्य श्रद्धा भवति भारत। श्रद्धामयो अयं पुरुष यो याच श्रद्धाः स एव सः. Since we had a little Shraddha Sanupa Sarvasya. Shraddhanurupa Sarvasya Bhavati Bharata. Shraddhamayo Purusho Yo Yat Shraddha Sa Eva Sa. Shraddhanurupa Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata. Shraddhamayo Ayam Purusho Yo Yadaccha Sa Eva. Mataji's. Dhanurupa Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata. Shraddhamayo Ayam Purusho Yo Ya Shraddha Sa Eva Sa. Word to word meaning. Anybody else? Okay, word to word meaning. Kindly repeat. Sattva Anurupa. According to the existence. Sarvasya. Of everyone. Shraddha. Faith. Bhavati. Becomes. Bharata. O son of Bharat. Shraddha. Faith. Mayaha. Full of. Ayam. This. Purushaha. Living entity. Yaha. Who. Yat. Having which. Shraddha. Faith. Saha. Thus. Eva. Certainly. Saha. He. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. O son of Bharat, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Kindly repeat. O son of Bharat, according to one's existence, under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. Everyone has a particular type of faith regardless of what he is. But his faith is considered good, passionate, or ignorant according to the nature he has acquired. Thus, according to his particular type of faith, one associates with certain persons. Now, the real fact is that every living being, as is stated in the 15th chapter, is originally a fragmental part of this Lord. He is a fragmental part of parcel of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, one is originally transcendental to all the modes of material nature. But when one forgets his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and comes in contact with the material nature in conditional life, he generates his own position by association with the different varieties of material nature. The resultant artificial faith and existence are only material, although one may be conducted by some impression or some conception of life. Originally, he is nirguna or transcendental. Therefore, one has to become cleansed of the material contamination that he has acquired in order to regain his relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is the only path back without fear, Krishna consciousness. If one is situated in Krishna consciousness, then that path is guaranteed for his elevation to the perfectional stage. If one does not take to this path of self-realization, then is surely to be conducted by the influence of the modes of nature. The word Shraddha or faith is very significant in this verse. Shraddha or faith originally comes out of the mode of goodness. One's faith may be in a demigod or some created god or some mental concoction. One's strong faith is supposed to be productive of works of material goodness. But in material conditional life, no works are completely purified. They are mixed. They are not in pure goodness. Pure goodness is transcendental. In purified goodness, one can understand the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As long as one's faith is not completely in purified goodness, the faith is subject to contamination by any of the modes of material nature. The contaminated modes of material nature expand to the heart. Therefore, according to the position of the heart in contact with a particular mode of material nature, one's faith is established. It should be understood that if one's heart is in the mode of goodness, his faith is also in the mode of goodness. If the heart is in the mode of passion, his faith is also in the mode of passion. And if the heart is in the mode of darkness, illusion, his faith is also thus contaminated. Thus, we find different types of faith in this world, and there are different types of religions due to different types of faith. The real principles of religious faith is situated in the mode of pure goodness, but because the heart is tainted, we find different types of religious principles. Thus, according to different types of faith, there are different kinds of worship. Translation one more time. O son of Bharat, according to one's existence, under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he acquired. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manoyabhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Aradhyo Bhagwan Vrajesh Tanayas Taddham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Taya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavata Puranayamalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Mataidam Nayatra Yagraha Para Navanirada Nindita Kanti Dharam Rashosagar Nagar Bhupavaram Shubhavankimacharu Shikhanda Shikhim Bhaja Krishna Nidhim Vrajrajasutam Bhaja Krishna Nidhim Vrajrajasutam Radhika Sarodendu Nindimukha Mandali Vandiye Shripada Padma Vrishabhanu Nandini Vandiye Shripada Padma Vrishabhanu Nandini Vandiye Shripada Padma Vrishabhanu Nandini Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya aprasadanna gati kutopi dayanstuvam yasya stri sandhyam vande guroho shri charnarvindam vande guroho shri charnarvindam vande guroho shri charnarvindam. So first of all, my humble obeisances unto all the assembled Vaishnavas, all the senior Vaishnavas, Prabhupada disciples. I seek your blessings so that whatever I speak, it is befitting this most holiest place in creation, Sri Vrindavan Dham, for the pleasure of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and the Gaudiya Acharyas. If there are any faults, I beg for forgiveness in the beginning itself, and I hope you all will forgive me. And if you do take something home within your hearts, it is simply due to the mercy of the Acharyas, who I try to repeat as it is. Hare Krishna. So, this chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita is the division of faith. And faith is known as Shraddha in Sanskrit and many other Indian languages, it's the same word. So, Srila Prabhupada mentions in his purport that everyone has a particular faith. So, we can further kind of understand this, that regardless whether one is uh, a believer in God or one is an atheist, they have some faith in something. If somebody is an atheist, they have faith in money, they have faith in their own abilities, etc. And of course, our faith is further divided into so many different classifications as that has been described by Krishna himself in this third verse and also in the purport of his divine grace. Faith is a subject matter that we all have inherent. So, as an example, a child has faith in their parents. Supposing a child, I remember somewhere Prabhupada has mentioned that when a child is crossing the street and holding the father's finger, child has faith that I do not have to fear. My father will protect me very nicely, even though there is so much traffic going back and forth, right? Like that, a person has also faith. For supposing if we go to the bank and we deposit a check of whatever that amount is, we have faith that it will be there in our account in a few hours or in a few days. So, faith is of different types. And the faith that Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, that is good or sattvic, uh, or in the mode of sattva, uh, there is more faith in the mode of rajas or in rajagun or the mode of passion. And there is faith in the mode of ignorance or faith in the mode of tamogun. So according to the nature one has acquired, uh, we will have that type of faith. Now, we have to, in order to understand what Krishna is actually saying, is that basically he's saying that the three modes of material nature has an influence on everyone. And what he, as in the purport also, it is established that the three types of faith based on mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness are not sufficient. Because these three modes, known as the gunas, guna in Sanskrit also means something that ties you, like a rope. So these three modes of material nature, they tie us. In the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Krishna says to Arjun that Trai Gunaya Vishaya Veda Nistray Bhava Guna Arjuna. Please try to transcend these three modes of material nature and be established in Shuddha Sattvam, which is the pure state of goodness. Not the state of goodness, but Shuddha Sattvam, which is the state of transcendence or transcendental. So, we find that everything in this material world has an influence of these three modes of material nature. Sometimes it is, rather I would say most of the time, it is a permutation, combination of the three modes of material nature. Everything. So let me give a few examples. Let's say, let's take our own self, our own personality. If we examine ourselves, sometimes we are in the mode of goodness. We are very nice to people. We're very humble. We talk very, very politely. And sometimes we also find in our own selves that due to the mode of passion, we become impatient. We even tend to, brush off somebody by not listening to them or not being patient enough. Or when we are in the mode of ignorance, anger takes over us, and we find that we become a victim of anger. It's the same person, but it's the mode of material nature that is acting on the person. So not only the persons, but also the mode of material nature has to do with everything in the material world. All the materials, for example, let's say the cloth. Why do most of the spiritual masters, or in the Naraj Pancharatra and places of like Hari Bhakti Vilas, they have recommended what to use when we are dressing up, as an example, what kind of cloth when we are doing deity worship. So cotton is considered the most best. Why? Because it is in the mode of goodness. That is why we consider that water, as an example, one of the material elements in this world, is considered the best thing as a mode of goodness. And that is why sometimes, even if we don't take a full bath and we are going on the altar, we do achaman. A quick short achaman is we take some few drops of water, Om Shri Keshwaya Nama, Om Shri Narayana Nama, Om Shri Madhvaya Nama, and then we are purified. And we even say that mantra, that the Om Pavitra Pavitrava Sarvavastha Gato Piva Yasmareta Pundrikaksham Bahir Antarabhyami Suchihi Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. So water is in the mode of goodness, right? Then there are other liquids that are in the mode of passion. And the mode of ignorance, liquids like liquor, alcohol, they are in the mode of ignorance. Let's take another example of the three modes of material nature on time. Kal itself in the material world has got the influence. For example, we all have experienced this in this room, all the devotees, the wonderful devotees that I see early in the morning in the Mangalarti or Guru Puja. We find that it is such a wonderful time because it's the mode of goodness during the Brahma Muhurat. When we chant the holy names, when we sing the glories of the Lord, or when we hear Hari Katha, it retains very well the mode of goodness. Even if we are not spiritual, we find that when we were children or in college and when we used to study, when the exams were there, early in the morning we used to wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and just a few hours before the exam, we used to read 3-4 hours, and we could retain quite a bit, as an example. So the Kal is in the mode of goodness in the Brahma Muhurat, as an example. Then after 7 p.m., 7:30, 8 p.m., the Rajokund time starts, and we find there's so much activity. Even we find here in Sri Vrindavan Dham, after 7:30, we see so many rickshaws and traffic jams, and as it progresses around 10 and 11, it is impossible to move around. We be almost getting hit by something. So the mode of passion, people going back and forth, children going to school, people going to work, no matter wherever you are in the world, whether in Paris or in Chicago or in New York or in Mumbai, wherever we are, we find there's so much activity, passion, people are rushed. So that is mode of passion. And then as the evening progresses, and the sun sets, the mode of ignorance sets in time. Even there, if we find, and as deeper and deeper it gets into the night time, the highest mode of ignorance sets in. We find that even the statistically speaking, there are so many thefts and all wrongdoings that are happening in the middle of the night. The most tamogoni places, or the places of ignorance, are those nightclubs and bars that are open until 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. That is in the deepest ignorance, because it is of the highest, it catches that moment. And all the wrong things are done in that darkness of night, that we find that are not so a good gentlemanly person will not do. Even in the West, where I have been living for almost about 35 years, we find that there are so-called gentlemanly people who go to office in the morning and they come home. But when they go in the office and when they have their lunch, they will either drink some juice or something. And if somebody offers them some beer or wine, they will say, no, I will not take it. But look at the influence of time. When they go home and when they're at the dinner table and when the sun is about to set, they open a glass of wine. Even the so-called sattvic people. Why? Because the influence of the modes of material nature. So like that, we can go on, and so many, even in the foodstuffs, there is modes of material nature. Satogun is so many different foodstuffs that we should be offering to Krishna in the category of Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, so that Krishna will accept it if we offer it with love. But anything in the mode of passion and in the mode of ignorance is not acceptable to Krishna. Even if you put a tulsi leaf, or even if you offer it with love, it is not acceptable. And what is that verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? That Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Tad Bhaktir Uttam. What is Uttam Bhakti? Narad Muni describes this, and Rupa Goswami has taken that in the Bhakti Rasam Sindhu, that from the Narad Sutra. Anukulyena Krishna Anya Abhilashata Shunya Jnana Karma Anavritam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Tad Bhaktir Uttam. Somebody must have asked Naradji, what is the Uttam Bhakti? What is topmost Bhakti? Please tell us briefly. And Naradji has wonderfully described that Anya Abhilashata Shunya, there should be no other material desire. Shunya. Not even for Gyan and not even for Karma. Zero. Shunya. Anavritam. Then what should we do? The negativities have been first explained by Naradji. Don't do this. Like Srila Prabhupada tells us, our acharyas tell us, what are the 4 things not to do? No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and no illicit sex. These are the don'ts. And then what should we do? Positive things that are conducive to bhakti. So what Naradji says in one line is Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Tad Bhaktiruttam. That which is conducive to Krishna, that which is good for Krishna bhakti, we should accept and we should do that for the pleasure of Krishna. So if Krishna doesn't like any tamasic foodstuffs like onion and garlic or mushrooms or any other foodstuffs that are not appropriate, then we cannot offer it, as an example. So this is the 3 modes of material nature that we have to be aware of, and that way we can understand this particular verse. And this, according to this 3 modes of material nature, we acquire a particular faith or shraddha. One associates with certain persons basically based on the modes of material nature that are controlling us. So there is one nice saying in Hindi that Jaisa sang, Vaisa rang. Those who understand Hindi. When we associate with somebody who has a particular mode of nature, then we will also acquire the same. So supposing if we associate with sadhus, then we will acquire a sadhu qualities of sadhu. If we associate with persons who are rajasic or who are in the mode of passion, then we have the tendency of becoming extremely passionate. And those who associate with people who drink, who do a lot of wrong things that are in the mode of ignorance, then naturally we will also end up doing the same thing. That is the reason we have to be very careful in choosing our association. It's very, very important. Thus, according to this particular the quality, then according to that, we get our nature that according to the Sangha. Now, Prabhupada also mentions that the real fact is that every living being, as stated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, they are a fragmental part and parcel of Sri Krishna. What is that verse? Mamayamsha Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Prabhupada mentions that each and every living being, the Jiva, is a part and parcel of Sri Krishna. And originally, the Jiva is completely transcendental. It is completely nirguna. Nirguna means three modes of material nature. And nirguna means one who doesn't possess that. Interesting that the word nirgun is also being used by Mayavad. Mayavad say that when the nirguna means the Supreme Lord doesn't have any, doesn't have any qualities. After all, everything is one, right? But the Vaishnavas translate the word nirguna, which is the correct meaning, meaning the Supreme Lord does not have material qualities. Nirguna. Guna means the three modes of material nature, and nir means not possessing. So that is the perfect meaning. Although one may be a scholar in Sanskrit, and the meaning, one word in Sanskrit can have many meanings, but the absolute meaning is only one, which the Vaishnavas explain. So similarly, because the Jiva, Prabhupada mentions, are a part and parcels of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, that is the reason why we are also originally nirguna. We do not possess the three modes of material nature. And why is that? Because we are non-contaminated. But the moment we come in touch with material nature, due to our envy of Krishna, Maya immediately takes a net and snaps on us, just like a hunter captures a bird or an animal by throwing a net. So Maya Baddha Jiva Asa Pashe Fire. The Jiva is Baddha. Baddha means tied by Maya. So simply we are going around in this material world due to that. And the only way one has to become cleansed of this material contamination, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport, one needs to be cleaned, cleansed. And that all the different modes of material natures that we have acquired, the three modes, we have to be cleansed from that in order to regain our relationship with Sri Krishna. Right now we have forgotten Sri Krishna, and in order to regain our relationship, the heart has to be clean. And what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommend? He recommends Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadava Agni Nirvapanam Shreyakairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Ananda Vardhanam Pratipada Purna Amruta Swadanam Sarvatma Snapannam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Just on this verse alone, if we describe it, there are straightforward meanings, and also there are many, many deep meanings with like a bottomless ocean. When a diver dives into the ocean, sometimes you cannot see the bottom. It is dark and blue. You cannot see the sand in the bottom or the rocks in the bottom. It is so deep. But this Chaitanya Sistastakam is like a bottomless ocean. We have heard that the ocean sometimes has got a depth of 34 or 36,000 feet. But that is still 36,000 feet. But can you imagine what bhakti is, especially in the line of Rupa Goswami, in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You cannot find even a bottom. It is so deep, it is so deep, it is infinite. Similarly, this first verse of the Chaitanya Sistastakam, as a matter of fact, the entire 8 verses of Chaitanya Sistastakam are extremely deep, and more realization we get, the more and more deeper we can dive. Just like a skilled diver knows how to survive in more and more deeper water. There are special skills required. So similarly, the special skills that we can acquire is when we cleanse ourselves, and that is the first thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. And what is the effect of that? Bhava Mahadava Agni Nirvapanam. Then this whole samsara davanal will be extinguished. the three modes of material nature that are influencing us will be completely eradicated. And then what is the positive effect that we'll get? We will get Cheto Darpada Marjanam, Bhavad Dava Agni, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. We will obtain the mercy of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada and the entire parampara going to Nityanand Prabhu. Like a transparent moon, Lord Nityananda is Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Shushitala Jay Chaya Jagata Judai. His coolness of his lotus feet is like millions and millions of cooling moons. So in the samsara davanal, in the forest fire, when it is extinguished, supposing if we are outside here in Vrindavan Dham in the middle of the day, during lunchtime, and if the temperature is 38 degrees Celsius or 40 degrees Celsius, and when you go home and you switch on the fan or your air conditioner, how do you feel? Similarly, if I can give an example, for so many millions and millions of lifetimes, we obtain the mercy of Lord Nityananda directly through the Guru Parampara, and our heart will open up like a white lily. There are lilies that are known as Kairavas. Right now, as we see on Radhani's hands, or in the morning in the Shringar Darshan, those lilies are in season right now. They are called Kairava, the white lilies. So she is holding that garland with the Kairava lilies. And they are seasonal. We won't see them after a few months or a couple of months. They will not be. So this Kairava lily has got one specialty that Mahaprabhu describes. At night it blossoms when the moon rises. It completely opens up. Similarly, our heart will completely open up to receive. Supposing if you want to give me something and if my hands are closed, can I receive anything? Nothing. But when I open my hands, I can receive. Similarly, when our hearts are completely open, we can receive the mercy of Lord Nityananda through the Guru Parampara. And then, after we are cleansed like that, we can find at the end, Mahaprabhu says in the first verse, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. It will give us the highest victory. What is that victory? There are many types of victory that are considered as high. For us, who are Nitya Baddha Jivas or the conditioned souls, one of the highest victory is that we can get rid of the three modes of material nature. Tamogun, Rajagun and Satagun. If we are able to completely go beyond these three modes of it is a victory. It is something that we have achieved. Supposing if somebody is very bad to us and somebody is talking nonsense and is hurting us, and if we don't react, that is very victorious. That means we have, as an example, controlled our senses. Just one very quick example. Similarly, if we are able to control the three modes of material nature by going beyond that, that is a victory. So that is why the best process is given Cheto Darpana Marjanam is chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada says that in this purport, that is the only path back without fear. Without fear, Prabhupada says. What is Srila Prabhupada's name that was given by his spiritual master? Abhay Charana Ravinda Das. And who is Abhay Charana Ravind? Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna. Krishna's lotus feet are Abhay. Abhay plus Charan. Charan means feet and Arvinda means lotus. So the lotus feet of Krishna, one who has surrendered to the lotus feet of Krishna will obtain fearlessness. So can you imagine if we are fully Sharanagat or fully surrendered? Sharanga Sharanagata hoi bejar tar pratna shune Vrajendra Kumar. One who is fully surrendered, then Krishna, Shyam Sundar, Vrajendra Kumar must listen to your prayers. He is forced to listen to your prayers. He is under your control. Two words that Krishna is also well known by, Bhakta, Vatsal. But very few have called Krishna Bhakta Vashya. Bhakta Vatsal is Krishna is like our parents. Vatsa means a calf. In Sanskrit, a baby calf is known as Vatsa. Or baby, even in Sanskrit, when some parent calls, hey Vatsa, So, oh son, please come here. So when you're calling your little son or a daughter, that is also they use the word Vatsa. So Krishna is Vatsa, yes. He's like Prabhupada quotes, Aham Bija Pita. I am the seed giving father. Indeed he is. But there is also, and that is in the mode of awe and reverence in Dasyaras. But if we are in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are Rupanugas, followers of Rupa Goswami, then our goal is the Vraj Prem. And what is the highest Vraj Prem that we are the specialized Vraj Prem amongst the Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya is Madhurya Rasa. So in Madhurya Rasa or even in Vatsalya Rasa and even in Sakhya Rasa, by also the gopis of Vrindavan. Gopis will say, okay, I will give some buttermilk. Krishna, you dance for us. And Krishna will take his kamar patta and he will tie it and he will dance, and then the gopis will give him a little bit of buttermilk. Mother Yashoda controls Krishna, as we will find in Kartik, the famous Damodar Leela, where Krishna is bound by the mother's love, right? So Krishna is known as Bhakta Vashya. Vash means to control, and Bhaktas can control Sri Krishna. So Prabhupada says that is the only path back without fear. So once who has completely surrendered to Krishna, there is no fear. We are not devotees who are fully realized. They are not afraid of death because they know that dies and not the soul. And ultimately, one who is fully Jiver Sharup Hoy Krishner Nityadas. I am an eternal servant of Krishna. I have a relationship with Krishna, and my particular relationship will continue even if I have to obtain a next body, even in this material world. Krishna is guaranteed that whoever takes to this spiritual life is guaranteed a human birth and will continue from wherever they left off. So he is so kind. Everything else will end. Our bank balance will end. Our degrees, our education, everything is finished when this body is finished. But Krishna is so kind that wherever we left off in our bhakti, we can continue moving forward in that state. So if one is situated in Krishna consciousness, then that path is guaranteed for his elevation to the perfectional stage. Now the best is by obtaining that perfectional stage is by the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada mentions that if we do not take to this path of self-realization, then he is surely to be conducted by the influence of the mode of material nature. So how to stop the modes of material nature is by performing bhakti. The word Shraddha or faith that here it is mentioned is very significant in this verse. Srila Prabhupada says, Shraddha or faith originally comes out of the mode of goodness. So when somebody has some mode of goodness, then they have some faith. Whether it is in the demigod or some superior power, it comes out of the mode of goodness. So we find that it is defined by our acharyas, Ado Shraddha, the 9 processes. So first we have some faith. So when we have some faith, we start coming to the temple. What is the result when we come to the temple? Tatha Sadhu Sang. We meet the Vaishnavas, we meet the sadhus. And what do the sadhus or the Vaishnavas tell us? Read Bhagavad Gita, come to the classes, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, the do's and don'ts. What is that called? That is called a bhajana kriya. And those who are serious, they take initiation through a bona fide spiritual master. That is bhajana kriya. And after bhajana kriya, the next process is anartha nivritti. Everything that is all bad in our heart, it disappears. There are anartha nivrittis are of 4 major categories. Very quickly, I will mention, time is short. The first anartha is illusion. We are illusioned that that I am not this body. I am this body. That is an illusion. We don't see that we are a spirit soul. How many of us have got that anubhuti or that realization? At least I don't have that. I'm trying. The second illusion in the first anartha category is Paramatma, or the the Param Swarup, the Swarup of the Supreme Lord, as the one who is situated in the heart of everyone in our own hearts, from the ant to the elephant to Lord Brahma. So we think that is illusion. We don't even know. We don't sadhya. Even with proper sadhana, sometimes by completing sadhana, some people say, "Oh, for the last 40 years I'm chanting," but I don't see any progress in my spiritual life. Maybe this is not working. Sometimes that doubt comes. So that is an anartha. The second category of anartha is the anarthas of the offenses. Nam aprad, offenses to the holy names. Vaishnava aprad, offenses to the Vaishnavas, to the devotees. The offenses to the Supreme Lord Himself. Offenses to the jivas, to the living entities, and offenses to the dham. That is the second category. Third category is of the anarthas is illusion. That is also known as asat trishna. Sat means real or eternal, and asat means something that is not real. So we are hankering. Krishna means to hanker. We are hankering after all the unrealistic, impermanent things, whether it is money, whether it is family, all these things. So that kind of thirst, we always want more money, we always attached to the family, we are always attached to all the material things. So that is asat trishna. And the next category is hriday durbalyam, when there is a weakness of the heart. What is the weakness of the heart? It is further categorized into three different categories. The first category is known as kutaniti, duplicity. We all have duplicity within us, sometimes in the form of a mustard seed, sometimes in the form of a football. We have it. Duplicity means we say something, but we don't mean it in our hearts. Sometimes we tell, "Oh, Prabhu, you're so nice. Oh, Mataji, you're so great." But internally we think that, "Oh, I don't like this person." We try to find fault, but on face, there is kutaniti, duplicity, duplicious nature, envy, matsya in us, again in a very small atomic way, like a mustard, in a very huge form. And the third one is tuchha asakti. Tuchha asakti is when we are uh, uh, attached to very, very frivolous things, cheap things, tuchha. Those things that have no value in a devotee's life. We are attached to all those things. So these are the anarthas, and that is the reason first we have faith, ado shraddha, tata sadhu sang. After sadhu sang, we get a bhajana kriya, advice of how to do bhajan, and then anartha nivri. All the anarthas are eradicated, and then the real bhajan starts. What is the next stage? The next stage is we get nishtha. Right now, we have to beat ourselves 100 times with shoes to wake up in the morning. When the alarm rings, no. Alarm says, "No, sleep 5 more minutes." And then we say, "No. If I sleep 5 minutes, I will not wake up. I must wake up." And then immediately we wake up. So we have to it's a tug of war. Right? And ruchi, the next stage, we have a real taste. At that time, it is so automatic. When I wake up so that I can attend Mangalarti? When will I wake up so that I can chant good rounds? Prabhupada said, how many rounds we should chant minimum? 16 good rounds, Prabhupada said. Not just 16 good rounds. So the good rounds is a very, very important thing. So that is the enthusiasm, the ruchi. And then after that, asakti. We are so attached, everything to Krishna, to our service, to the Vaishnavas, to chanting the holy names, every activity, whatever we do, we are completely attached. That's when we enter the Raganuga Bhakti stage. And then we enter into the second last stage, which is known as Bhav. And in Bhav, by the mercy of Guru Gauranga, even if our Guru is not present, even if our Acharya is not present, within our heart, our position our eternal position is revealed. Our eternal position, who we are in the spiritual world, what kind of dress we wear, what kind of group we belong to, under which gopi, if we get Madhurya Rasa, under which gopi we will get guidance, or who we will be serving. Das Anudas, Anudas, Anudas continues not only here, but also up in the spiritual sky. Krishna Prema. And even within Krishna Prema, there are so many different types of Krishna Prema one can obtain. So one strong faith is supposed to be produced. Ado Shraddha, and then there is one more nice verse that I'm reminded of in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it says that Shraddha, we're talking about Shraddha, faith. Nishchaya Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, when one has faith, Shraddha, Nishchaya, firm faith, Krishna Bhakti Koile, one who does Krishna Bhakti with firm faith, Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. We should not worry about our karma. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Sarva Papebhyo Mokshashyami Ma Sucha. Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. The reactions will be taken off. We should have firm faith in our bhakti. So like this, I think the summum bonum of this verse is when somebody is in pure goodness and is purified, one can understand the real nature. Krishna says, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati in the Bhagavad Gita. And as long as one's faith is not completely purified, goodness, the faith is subject to contamination by the three modes of material nature. So even when we are practicing devotees, sometimes the modes of material nature takes over us and our faith is reduced sometimes. It's like a wave. Sometimes, we find very momentarily, oh, it's so nice, Krishna consciousness, when you're chanting and you're attending Aarti and Kirtan, and sometimes it's low. Why is that? Because our faith is fluctuating. Just like the electricity in Vrindavan. It's fluctuating. The voltage is very high, sometimes very low. It fluctuates. Similarly, Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji describes that even our faith fluctuates, and that is the reason firm faith is, we have to be established in firm faith. So, for example, Prabhupada mentions in the end of the purport, therefore, according to the position of the heart in contact with a particular mode of material, one's faith is established. So different religions have different types of faith. We find that, for example, Prabhupada quotes this quite a bit. The Christians or the Catholics say, oh God, our Father in heaven, give us thy daily bread. So their faith is limited to that the Lord is their order supplier, right? Some people, or in some religions, they practice their religion very faithfully because they know that even if they kill people in the name of religion, and if die, then they will attain a Jannat or heaven. They will attain heaven. So the concept of faith, that is their understanding based on the what Krishna is saying on whether they are in the mode of goodness, in the mode of passion, or mode of ignorance. So talking about faith, one final note that I will make here is, we as practicing devotees, our goal should be of faith in Shuddha Sattvam. Shuddha Sattvam meaning transcendental goodness, beyond the mode of goodness. Because these three modes will keep us, bringing us back. Even the mode of goodness, we will maximum when we die, we will go back, we will go to heaven. But after we come back, we will be coming back to this material world. So there is a danger even in the mode of goodness. But in the mode of transcendental mode that our acharyas have given, if we practice that, then our faith is very different. Like, what is the faith of Shabri? Does anybody know who Shabri is in Ramayana? Shabri was a disciple of Matang Muni Rishi. And when she was a little girl, she used to serve her guru's ashram by cleaning and taking care of the ashram so nicely and taking care of all the Vaishnavas. So Matang Muni one day blessed her that you will remain eternally and you will have the darshan of Lord Ramachandra. And Guru left, all the other Vaishnavas left, the ashram was finished, but Shabri became very old. She was almost, a very, very old person, stick in hand with a hunchback, and every day her strong faith was she used to gather some berries that were there in the forest, and thinking, today my Lord Rama will come and I will offer these sweet berries to my Lord Rama. And Lord Ramachandra didn't come for a long time until she became old. And one day, finally, when he came, she had those sweet berries, but she wanted to make sure that I give the sweetest of the sweetest berries to Lord Rama. And she took every berry and she ate it, tasted it, and then they offered it, and she offered it to Lord Rama to make sure that it is the sweetest. So that is the faith that Shabri had. The faith of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj's faith was Avashya Rakshibe Krishna Vishwashapalan. Krishna will always protect me. No matter what Hiranyakashipu tried to kill him in different ways. Where is your Hari? He's everywhere. Is he in this pillar? Yes, he is in the pillar. And let me see how is he going to protect you. And how did he happen? How did it happen? Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakham Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshava Dhrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare. And the Supreme Lord came to protect his devotee. So even Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in Hari Bhakti Vilas, also Gopal Bhatta Goswami explains that one of the limbs of Sharanagati is having firm faith in Krishna that he will always protect you. That kind of faith we have to develop. And then there is the faith in Vraj. The coward boys were always very faith. They were full of faith. The Davanal or the forest fire. Oh Krishna, Krishna, there's a forest fire. Save us, save us. And they had full faith that Krishna will save them. Krishna saved them from the Keshi demon. Krishna saved them from the Dhenukasur. Krishna saved them from Bakasur. So many different demons, and they called upon Krishna, Krishna, and Krishna saved them. The Vrajvasis, dependent on Krishna, their faith. We're talking about faith. What kind of faith we need to develop is the faith that they had, that Krishna, Indra is going to kill us. Everything is drowning, and they had full faith that Krishna would protect them as Giridhari. He protected them 7 days and 7 nights. And the gopis finally in the Madhurya Rasa, they have full faith in Krishna. Even when Krishna goes away, giving them separation, so much burning separation, we find that they have so much faith that one day he will come, one day he will show himself. In the Gopi Geet, in the very first verse, the gopis say that what do they say? Taidita sadam dikshutavakas taidita savas tam vichinvate daita drishyata dikshutas taidita savas tam vichinvate. Please show yourself to us, O Krishna. We are losing our life here. We will certainly die if you don't show yourself to us. So much faith, till the point that they are about to give up their bodies. That much faith in Krishna. Ashlishya padaratam pinashtumam darshanam marma hatam karotuva yatha tathava vidato lampato mat prananathas sevana para. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the last verse of the Chaitanya Sistastakam that whether you kick me or embrace me, you are my master and my love, birth after birth after birth after birth. So that is firm faith. And that faith is in the faith of mode of Shuddha Sattvam, or the transcendental mode. Not in the mode of goodness, not in the mode of passion, not in the mode of ignorance. So those who are worshipping demigods, they're in the mode of goodness. Those who are worshipping the different spirits and ghosts, they are in the mode of ignorance. And those who worship personalities like the Rakshasas, they are in the mode of passion. So we have to transcend all these three and try to attain the faith as given in this example today that I could think of. The faith of Shabri in Ramayana as an example, the faith of Prahlad, the faith of the coward boys, the faith of the Vrajvasis, and the faith of the gopis. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna Shri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Gurudev Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Satchitanand Das.
नाम भी ऐसे ही है। कभी आशीर्वाद दो मेरे को। बनवा मुझे भी ऐसी श्रद्धा प्रिय।
अवश्य प्रभुपाद जी आपको सब दे। सच्चिदानंद दास।